Neil deGrasse Tyson here, your personal astrophysicist. I invite you to stitch tactics, methods, tools, whatever good ideas you have, stitch it to this. See if we can start a movement.
It's time for an upcycle in solidarity for a green world. And with TikTok for Good, I am going to give y'all 7 tips to help you be sustainable in your everyday life. Thinking about the environment in general and how we can lower our carbon footprint and keep things out of landfill can be a little intimidating. All the small changes we can make in our home that are actually fun and can make our space beautiful are great ways to start, because all the little things that we do together can equal great big results. So check it out. All right, number 1, let's start with one of my favorites. Most people at some time in their life have to use a prescription bottle, but you know what I do when I'm done with them? I clean them out, I fill them with water, and I put them in my freezer. Make the most phenomenal little ice pack for little boo-boos or for under-eye puffiness. Also love to freeze old sponges and put them in reusable containers for lunch boxes. Don't forget, a lot of animal shelters will take those empty bottles as donations so they can use them for pet medications. Number 2, a great way to be sustainable in many aspects of your life is with old t-shirts. You can thrift them, whether you have them, they're old, you never wear them anymore. Y'all, get some frames from the thrift store and frame those t-shirts. Give them a light starch. They make the absolute coolest art, and you've kept multiple things out of a landfill. Not only can you frame t-shirts for home decor, but you can also find chairs on the side of the road. This was a great trash find. I decided to bring it home and cover it with an old Bowie t-shirt. How cool is this? And don't forget, t-shirts are also awesome to flip inside out. Give a little stitch along the bottom, cut off the neck, the sleeves, and guess what? You have the coolest reusable grocery bag, and you can get rid of the plastic ones. Number 3, let's talk about functional items. Why can't they be beautiful, right? Say you need a fan, thrift a fan, bring it home, clean it up, paint it, use your favorite art book and cover the blades in the front of it, and you literally have created a functional piece of art. I've had this fan for like 4 years now, and it is still one of my faves. Number 4, what about those random things that you always see at the thrift store, like crutches? How about some crutches and some wood slats? And how about you take it all apart, you paint it, you add some hooks to it, and you make it into a really cool bookshelf. Perfect for those small little spaces. Remember, by the time things hit the thrift store, the next stop is usually a landfill, and that is something we absolutely want to avoid. So what about something that I know most places don't take back? You're done using it. A satellite dish. This is definitely a landfill item if I've ever seen one. But if you paint it with heat-resistant paint, you can make a darling little fire table. If you're not into putting logs and a real fire on it, you could always just do some rocks and some candles and make a beautiful outdoor table. How cool is that? Number 5, let's talk about lighting. All the lighting upcycles. About taking some plastic grocery bag holders, covering them with some pretty thrifted fabric and a little bit of fringe at the bottom, putting in a battery operated light and mounting them on the wall to make them wireless little works of art. With that perfect little glow, and you don't even have to worry about where you put them. You don't have to hardwire, which is great. Let's talk about outdoor lighting. I had these old tiki torch holders, and I decided to take solar caps off of some solar lights that I had and glue them onto these old vintage sandwich goblets and create this little fun situation around my fire pit. So just using those old solar caps and some vintage glasses, I've got some really unique, beautiful outdoor solar lighting. Like some candles outside and you don't want them to blow out, this is something I see nonstop at the thrift stores. Old aquariums, clean that sucker out, give it a fresh paint around the trim, whatever color you like, load it with some pea gravel and some candles, and guess what? You just have made one gorgeous outside hurricane for your table. And if you don't want to deal with candles outside that actually have a flame, y'all know that you can get battery-operated tapered candles that look like they're real candles. Take an old thrifted chandelier, hang it outside, take these candles that are battery-operated, pop them inside of your chandelier, use your little remote, flip it on, they look like real candles. It's beautiful, it's outside, you've thrifted something very cool and made a beautiful lighting situation. You do if you have a lamp that's broken and you don't want to rewire it. You can take the whole thing apart like an accordion, you can string some battery operated lights right into that sucker, and you can make it into a beautiful lantern that you can use in your home. This upcycle only took me about 5 minutes and anyone can do it. And they're beautiful if you do multiple ones, especially crystal clear ones as well down a center of a table. If you want to be incredibly creative with your lighting situations, this is an old protein powder container. I cleaned it out. I put the cover of a book jacket on it and I put a lampshade on it and a battery operated light. And I made a lamp out of a plastic protein powder container, and I think it's gorgeous. And while we're at it, let's just mention that book jackets are the most amazing thing to decorate with. I made a cookie jar for our kitchen out of this book jacket, and my kids love it, and it's darling. Number 6, thinking outside the box or taking those old things we're not using anymore and really making them into something that we might need, like a diaper changing table. How many people have these and then don't use them anymore? Well, guess what? You can make it into a beautiful bar cart. You can even make it into a coffee bar. Style it with secondhand or vintage items. The whole goal is when we're designing or reworking things in our home, we're really trying to be as sustainable as possible, making it fun and reusing as much as we can. What do you do when you need a little side table? Well, you get a thrifted luggage rack and an old mirror. You take a Sharpie and you draw a pattern on it. You paint the luggage rack and then you mount the mirror on top of the luggage rack and you create yourself a beautiful little table. Boom, you've kept multiple things out of a landfill and you have a beautiful piece. Last but not least, some of the simplest things are the best. Bookends, y'all. One of my favorite things to give new jobs to. Old bookends make the absolute best doorstops. Only do all these upcycles help you create a beautiful, sustainable home on a budget, but it helps us all create a greener world together. Happy upcycling.